This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Last week, the season opener of the 2019 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series was absolutely dominated by the 12 of Alex Bergeron. Tonight, we head to Knoxville, and let's see what round 2 has in store for the NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars here on the iRacing Esports Network and on Dirt Vision. Do not go away.
The road to $100,000 takes on No Limits Texas. We're from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. We say good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to round 4 of the 2019 eNASCAR Buchanan Freeze iRacing Series. The pace cars down at Indo, and Michael Conti, familiar territory. He takes the green flag. We're underway from Texas. It's about as far apart as you could be. We'll be in side by side. Michael Conti not at all interested in pinching that 53 down. They were dead even that last time by. The gap 0.000. But look at the A car way up high. He's not squeezing the 53 down. Conti really likes that run off of the corner there.
Look at the drama in front of him, and we're about to shake everything up as Challoner gets caught up in an incident through the quad oval.
After 135 laps of green flag in the air, 6 laps to go from Texas. Here they come into turn 4. The 62 again tries. Left side tires are into the grass, and a caution flag behind them.
18 is Linsky caught up in this huge incident, and did we actually make our window?
Lights on top of the pace car are out, and we have a 1-lap shootout to decide it. As we come to it, 1 more lap to go.
Tight restart. Keegan Leahy holding that outside line. Corey Vincent hasn't been able to get up to the back bumper of the 53 of Ryan Luza as of yet, and shuts the door. There goes the 62 to the outside. Corey Vincent to the inside. They're going to drag race behind Ryan Luza.
It's side by side for second, but here comes Leahy to the outside of Luza. Side by side challenge in turn number 3, but they're all going to box each other in. Luza sees daylight at a turn number 4. The challenge going to come to the outside. It's a big wreck behind him, but it is Ryan Luza, winner at Texas.
While the real world of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series just concluded their California swing at the Paris Auto Speedway, we're going to head to Knoxville, one of the most iconic racing venues on all of dirt racing in the United States. And Chase, we're, I think, going to be in for a very good show here at the home of the Knoxville Nationals.
Yeah, Knoxville, Iowa, this is definitely probably the most historic racetrack that there is, with the exception of maybe Eldora or Williams Grove. But we're going to see an exciting 30 laps here tonight with some of the best sim racers on the iRacing.com virtual world here. Obviously, Alex Bergeron is the guy that everybody's going to be chasing here tonight as he leads the point standings after the first round of Volusia Speedway Park. But he's got a lot of guys like James Edens, Adam Elby, Joel Berkeley, Austin Settleman. As you see the points on your screen now, those guys all going to try and hunt him down. As remember, Andy, this is a $10,000 to win championship after the end of these 10 weeks.
$10,000 to win, of course, the entire prize pool up to $25,000 this season. But of course, there's also money going to not just the winners, as well as a race purse every single week. $300 to the winner, $200 for second, and $100 going to those who round out the podium. Qualifying currently underway, and right now it's the 52 of James Edens with quick time of a 16.418. And I will say, coming out of that season opening round at Volusia, Chase, I think the driver that really needs to step it up and put in a good performance, if not win this whole thing tonight, is going to be that Australian driver of Tim Ryan from Altus Esports. Very, very unlucky night for him in our season opener. Got in an issue with his heat race, got stuck in an LCQ, did a fantastic job racing through it, but was basically just buried in the traffic all night through that 30-lap main event.
I'm telling you right now, iRacing.com put out an incredible highlight video of Tim Ryan coming through the field in that LCQ, and I'm not sure there, Randy, but I'm sure he made some new fans after that video. But he was probably not satisfied with the end result there when the A-Main came out with the checkered flag there. Tim Ryan obviously did not have the best of nights there, but tried to salvage the best he could. But he's going to look and try and come on the podium at least here tonight in Knoxville.
Yep, of course, the two drivers we're really keeping an eye on have yet to hit the track for qualifying. Tim Ryan, last season's champion, and Alex Bergeron still waiting to see when they are going to go out there and run a couple of laps. Joel Berkeley is actually starting his first timed lap right now in the number 9 TTL Esports car. Let's see what he can do as he comes off of turn 2 and streams down the back straightaway in towards 3 and 4. Seems like everyone's up around the top here tonight.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be the comfortable line around the racetrack here tonight. Most of the time what we see here around Knoxville when I'm ran here on the hosted sessions as well as on the official series here on iRacing.com, we start to build a little bit of a curve up there on the top side of the racetrack. The dirt really starts to get compounded up there on the top, and you can lean on something up there, but it's very treacherous. I don't know what it is about this place, but on iRacing.com, that curve builds up against that wall is extremely treacherous here in these 410 sprint cars. So you might see a couple guys trying to play it safe down on the bottom, but I'm telling you right now, is the top's tough to run, but the bottom here is so hard to see that inside berm. It's extremely hard to be very consistent down there and run consistent laps on the bottom of the racetrack. As there's Alex Bergeron on the clock now, Randy.
First lap goes third quickest with a 16.487. The 98 of Tim Ryan also about to put in his first time lap as well. That's going to go to a 16.7. Not very good from the driver of that number 98 car. Alex does not improve on his second lap either. What can Tim Ryan do? He heads through 3 and 4 for the final time. Only 15 seconds left on qualifying. He's currently somewhere around P number 30, and he needs to improve on that on this second lap. Goes to a 4.88. That's going to put him just behind Logan Clamp. That matches his time, actually. And right there, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, we have, I think, that 5 drivers all covered by 0.003 of a second as qualifying gets wrapped up.
Yeah, wow, that was a close one. It looks like at least 10 drivers in the 16.4 second bracket. Everybody drifting off to about 16.8. Joe Lusk was the slowest driver, 16.863 with James Edens, though. Your fast time qualifier tonight for Swindell Speed Lab Esports, 16.418 for the 52 car out of Santa Rosa, California, James Edens.
Yep, and with that, let's go down your starting grid for our first of the 3 heat races here tonight. 9 cars will be lining up pretty much in every, of the 4 heat races we have here tonight. On the front row is going to be James Edens and Tim Ryan making up row number 1, and heat race number 1. Row 2 belongs to Nick Cooper and Cameron Dance. Row 3 going to move on back here to Joel Berkeley and Ryan Mayer, with Wayne Williams and Kenneth Dake Jr. on road number 4, and Robert Kerstetter will round out the 9-car field in heat race number 1. That 27 of Kerstetter, I think, very close to transferring to the main event last week. Chase just wasn't quite able to do so, I think, just on the outside. looking in. He's got his work cut out for him once again, starting deep in his heat race tonight.
Yeah, Kerstetter's going to definitely have his work cut out here for these next 8 laps here in these heat races. I'm trying to get a good look at the track as we get this overhead view right now. Really, the track prep guy in my head right now is trying to think of what these drivers are doing, having to prepare for this track surface. I know they're out there right now looking at all the camera angles that they can, trying to see what the track looks like. You see a couple little black marks on the track right there. That's where it's getting a little bit more slick out there, and where these guys are going to try not to run out on the racetrack. It looks like possibly the top of the racetrack, still a lot of grip up there. I think we're going to see a lot of guys trying to work up on that high line, but you never know. Maybe a guy like Robert Kerstetter, while those guys are all up top, they get bobbled up, and he might go by him on the bottom of the racetrack here.
A quick little summary of the format we're going to have tonight. We have 4 heat races. Top 4 from each heat race transfers directly to the main event. Then we have 2 twin B mains, which will take a pair of drivers out of each, and that will round out the 20-car main event, and we'll send them out there for 30 laps when we eventually get those fields sorted out. James Eden's going to roll them out onto the back straightaway, though, for the first of a couple of pace laps around here at the Knoxville Speedway. And after qualifying, Chase drivers' first opportunity to see what this track kind of feels like. Of course, you're not going at speed, but you maybe get an idea of what that dirt's going to be like. Especially, we saw so many cars running the middle to the top. If you're on the inside line here, you might get forced to the bottom here when we get that green flag to start off heat race number 1.
Yeah, you got to think there's got to be somewhat of a disadvantage being here in this first heat race. The only advantage that I can think of, if you win this first heat race, you are automatically on the pole for tonight's feature. But these other guys that are not in the first heat get a good glance at the track and how it's going to work out for the racing side of things here for these first 8 laps or so. And the guys in the second, the third, the fourth heat can maybe make adjustments, talk to the teammates that are in this first heat race that can help them out a little bit, make some adjustments, and maybe give them a good shot to maybe pick up a heat race win here.
Let's get ready to go racing here in Knoxville, Iowa. It's going to be the 52 of James Edens in command of the field from Swindell Speed Lab Esports. iRacing safety truck, custom pit road. Already nearly a little bit of contact with your top 2, and they don't even get on it. James Edens, though, picks that throttle up, and we are green in heat number 1.
Yeah, let's see where Edens goes. Immediately to the top of the racetrack goes the 52 car.
Oh, big contact behind. Big contact behind. Tim Ryan and Nick Cooper involved.
Wow, Tim Ryan, man, 2 weeks in a row get caught up in a heat race accident. You got to think he might have a meatball flag that will bring him down to pit road. We'll have to see what the 98 car does right now. He's still got a lot of laps to try and maybe get by a couple of these drivers. You can't help but think, though, there's going to be some damage to that number 98 car as James Edens leads, followed by Nick Cooper, Joel Berkeley, and Wayne Williams right now, Randy.
Berkeley and Williams, they're fighting out for the last 2 transfer spots. Williams just made a little bit of contact with the 9 of Joe Berkeley, and that's pushed him back to the likes of Ryan Mayer and Cam Dance. So that we get towards halfway in this opening heat race, Wayne Williams is going to fall down the field a little bit. Big slider from Cam Dance. He's going to slide up. We got a big pile up behind. 3 cars involved that will help out Tim Ryan, but it's Robert Kerstetter and Ryan Mayer who are basically on their side, sitting in 3 and 4, and that's going to open up a little bit of breathing room for Cam Dance, who I think at this point is going to send it through these last 4 laps, trying to get that transfer spot away from that 4.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be stuck down in one of the slower main events later on tonight, one of those 2B mains. Here comes Cam Dance, goes to the bottom of the racetrack right now, runs the slider line right there. I've seen that work several times here at Knoxville on iRacing.com, so Cam Dance, he's trying something different. He doesn't want to run the top of the racetrack. You got to go where these other guys are not to make a pass on him. You see Wayne Williams right there just in front of him in the car number 4. We're on board now on the top wing of Cameron Dance. We'll see what he tries here. The slider line being used by Wayne Williams as well. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out later on in these next couple of heat races.
So through 3 and 4, they get ready to head down the front straightaway. Going to be getting 2 laps to go here at Knoxville, in towards 1 and 2, and Williams has nicely opened up a gap, nearly a full second over Cameron Dance. So I think that Cam's dreams of potentially going directly to the main event are pretty much going to be dashed here. Joel Berkeley, though, has been reeling in Nick Cooper, and as the white flag flies, he's going to go down to the bottom, try to slide it through the center of the corner. Can he get good traction off the corner? Yes, but not nearly as good as the 35 of Nick Cooper. But the 52 of James Edens takes quick time and pull in heat race number 1, and as he comes off quarter number 4, he will comfortably win the opening heat race of the night.
Yeah, that's huge right there. That is an automatic start on the front row for tonight's main event for the 52 of James Edens. Nick Cooper, Joel Berkeley, Wayne Williams, they will all transfer directly to tonight's 30-lap main event at Knoxville Raceway. Cameron Dance, Kenneth Dake Jr., Tim Ryan, and looks like Ryan Mayer, Robert Kerstetter, the other 5 drivers, I should say, will be in one of 2 B main events, and that is exactly what they did not want to have to happen here early on tonight.
Yep, not a great opening run, I think, for those guys. And really not the way you want to start your night here tonight, Chase, as we have heat race number two coming up.
Yeah, heat race number 2. Whoever wins this one will start on the outside of the front row. On the pole, this one, he's the driver out of Dorado, California, the Tony Stewart Racing Wicked Cushion Fatheads eyewear number 15. That's Nelson Webster. Webster on the front row. Alongside him, the driver out of Loomis, California, the Fast4Media.com, Jake Swanson, Shock Technology, Maxwell Industries. Number 10K, that's Rusty Kruger. Kruger on the outside of the front row. Row number 2 now. It'll be Austin Selman. He finished in the top 3 in last weekend's main event at Volusia Speedway Park. He'll come into the night in the top 3 in the point standings. Outside of him, in the car number 49, that's David Heileman for Casey Kane Racing Sim Team. And we'll move now into the 3rd row. On the inside, it's the driver car number 3 in the TTL Esports camp. That's Lewis Hewitt out of Australia. Outside of him for Craig Kinzer Racing, it's the number 5 car of Braden Eiler. Eiler on the outside of the 3rd row. Row number 4, it's another Casey Kane Racing driver, the 421 of Britton Roxbury. Roxbury on the inside of the 4th row, and on the outside of him for Ironman Motorsports, it's the number 90 of Joe Quinn. And your final driver looks like it'll be Jesse Dacus out of Canada in the car number 75. Dacus, actually, Randy, one of the only drivers in the field here tonight with no sponsors on the side of the race car. So if you're looking to get into the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars here on iRacing.com as a sponsor, contact Jesse Dacus. She is a plain yellow car out there, plain Jane. He needs some sponsors to help him keep going here, Randy.
Yep, that bright yellow, number 75 looks a little bit plain, but he's hoping that it looks a little bit quick as he can maybe hopefully reel in those drivers out in front of them. It's going to be interesting to watch this 49 and David Heileman running out of that Casey Kane camp. Of course, Brad Sweet, who runs that Napa car in the Real World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Series, unfortunately got his streak of top 5s during the California swing broken on Saturday night at Paris Auto Speedway, but still a good night for the Big Cat. But with that said, let's see what Nelson Webster can put together with this heat race, or can the 10K of Rusty Kruger make something of this as well? iRacing safety truck down onto pit road, and Nelson Webster, he'll get on it really early. We are green to heat race number 2 as your 2nd row nearly makes a little bit of contact as they fan out, and Rusty Kruger, again, 2 weeks in a row, loses out at the start of a heat race.
Yeah, the Kruger, man, trying to get some good points here, trying to make his way straight into the main event. Did not get a very good start there as Nelson Webster was able to pull away big time right there. Here comes the 10K of Kruger down to the inside of Lewis Hewitt, but Hewitt around the outside, he'll take that 3rd spot.
I think the 10 was mostly trying to defend away from David Heileman there, who's currently sitting right off the right off the rear tank. One car slow down the back straightaway. That's going to maybe check the field up as Heileman goes to the bottom, and they're 3 wide for 3rd.
Yeah, great battle going on right now for that 3rd spot. Give it to the 3 car right now, Lewis Hewitt. Rusty Kruger right now in the final transfer spot. Then the 49 of David Heileman, pounding him right now behind him. Kruger kind of slides it through the middle of the racetrack right there. Heileman up to the top of the racetrack. He might have a run on him down the back straightaway. Will we see a slider? He's right there with him, Randy. Down the back stretch. Kruger blocks the bottom right there. That might have been the move to save him right there.
But maybe not. It seems like the cushion is where you want to be, but Rusty will get a good run. Coming off the corner, he chops the nose of Brent Roxbury, 3 wide between Heileman, Kruger, and Roxbury as they slide through 3 and 4. Rusty's going to get up to the top, and that's going to be, I think, the best he can do, at least for the moment. Heileman makes a move on Lewis Hewitt. That's not going to work. Watch for Rusty to get the drive off the corner and throw it onto one of these drivers. Will he go for the slider? No. He's just going to settle behind that number 49 for the moment as the 10K gets turned.
Oh, man, it looks like he made contact possibly with the 421 of Britton Roxbury there. You see, kind of got that curve I was talking about earlier on in the pre-race show. That curve up there on the top of the racetrack, it can bite you in a hurry if you don't run it quite right, and that's what happened to Rusty Kruger right there. As your top 4 drivers are now pulled away from the 5th place car of Jesse Dacus, who started dead last in this race, has now made his way up to 5th. But he's 1 spot shy right now of the A-Main as the battle for 2nd starts to heat up between the 3 of Lewis Hewitt and 18 car of Austin Selman, David Heileman in the mix as well.
Nelson Webster, your race leader, not very far off, so we're about to have a 4-way scrap for your top 4 positions as the white flag will fly. 3 wide for 2nd and towards 1 and 2 for the final time. Hewitt dives it down the bottom, and what a move by Lewis Hewitt. He will hold 2nd, but not for long as there's contact between the 18 and the 3. More contact in 3 and 4. They somehow hold it together, and those 4 will hold on to the transfer spots, but just as Jesse Dacus is going to be seeing all that bobbling out in front of him, Chase, and I think likely wondering how in the world did they not keep that together, because if one of those cars goes spinning to the inside, we see that bright yellow machine steal a transfer spot away from deep on that grid.
Holy cow, I have to catch my breath after that one, Randy. That was insanity right there in that last corner. I cannot believe those guys, they had such a big gap back to Jesse Takis. I thought for sure they might just play it easy and, just run 1, 2, 3, 4, but no, they were trying to get every spot they could. Obviously, every spot that you gain in the heat race, it helps your starting spot, obviously, in the main event for later on tonight, but my goodness, that was insanity right there in the second heat race. Heat race number 3 about to roll onto the speedway now.
Heat race number 3 going to be getting itself going here in just a couple of moments. And let's take a quick peek at the starting grid for that one. Alex Bergeron of Team Alex Bergeron Racing will start on the front row. Last week's winner, so dominant in Volusia, with Ricky Sanders of TTL Esports on the outside of that front row. Row 2, Chase Cabre of Swindell Speed Lab Esports. We saw him be very prominent last week as well. Got caught up in a little bit of drama that ended up damaging that car, and he basically got sent to the back. Matt McKinney, his teammate, will start on the outside of that second row as well. Row number 3, Dylan Hauser of TTL Esports and Blade Witt of Lowline Racing, with row 4 being made up of Vinny Sansone of Ironman Motorsports and Cole Newhoffen of Kinzer Racing Sim Team. Then row number 5, we're going to be going all the way back to a nice spot of Joe Lusk from Reignition Esports. And I think row number 2 might be the one to watch here, Chase. Two very prominent drivers who race in real life, with Chase Cabre and Matthew McKinney. Both teammates, but they're not going to really play nice with one another whatsoever.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come into play a little bit here towards the end of the race when they're both sitting on the bubble spot for the final transfer right now. As they line up here, we'll see what happens on this first lap. It seems like the first lap is the most important here. If you can get up to speed and not spin the tires, which was what we saw happen to Rusty Kruger there on that second heat race, as long as you can keep the tires underneath you and make it through turns 1 and 2 clean, you might have a decent shot to stay into the top 4. So keep her on that second row, the 2 Swindell Speed Lab Esports cars, so Chase Cabre and the 51 car of Matt McKinney. We're about to go green here off turn number 4. We're underway.
Good start here from Alex Bergeron, and Chase Cabre is going to slide it down to the bottom, try to take this second spot away early from Ricky Sanders. A little bit of contact, and Chase will keep the momentum up. They're 2 by 2 by 2, all the way behind Bergeron. Chase slides left to the cushion, and he'll take that second spot away as his teammate McKinney is now working the bottom and wants to do the ditto of what his teammate just did and work past those TTL Esports cars of Ricky Sanders, but McKinney falls a little bit short off 2.
Wow, the 39 car got a shot in the shorts right there from the 17 of Ricky Sanders, but the 39 able to hang on to it. Here comes the 2 car now. What a move by Dylan Hauser to take over the second spot down the front straightaway. Hauser goes by 2 cars, and now Sanders with a slider on Hauser. He's back to second now.
They're nearly 3 abreast for second, and they're 3 abreast once again as Cabre goes underneath the 2 car of Dylan Hauser and Ricky Sanders. He'll slide up on Ricky, not quite get into the wall there. It's actually Matt McKinney tries to do the same thing. He actually gets blocked out by the 2 car. Vinny Sansone able to just slip by there in the background of Matt McKinney as Chase Cabre is now going to comfortably slot himself into the second spot. Ricky Sanders 3rd, and Hauser will hold on to that final transfer spot as we're just about to get halfway.
Yeah, Alex Bergeron absolutely checked out like he was last week at Volusia Speedway Park. Oh, car into the wall. It's your set 3rd place car. Ricky Sanders up into the wall. He keeps on going, comes back down the racetrack, collects another driver. He's nearly upside down, but now that moves the 80 of Vinny Sansone up into the transfer spot. He's under pressure now from Matt McKinney. McKinney's going to look down to the inside 1 and 2. Does he look for the slider? Sansone blocks it. Contact for the transfer spot. Still Sansone's got it at the moment.
McKinney was looking a little bit patient before that became a transfer spot, but he saw that 4th spot open up, and he immediately threw the move on the number 80 Ironman Motorsports car of Vinny Sansone to move Matt McKinney back into a transfer spot after the drama he's dealt with. But the 80 car not done just yet. He's going to get a good run. Is Vinny down the back straightaway and in towards 3 and 4. They're going to be nose to nose as they work through 3 and 4. Coming to the white flag. Can Vinny get a run and challenge in towards 1 and 2 to be able to roll the slider line? Your top 3 all pretty much clear, and Vinny's going to work that bottom. Can he get the run on Matthew McKinney to take the transfer spot away? Yes, he does. 3 and 4 for the final time. Bergeron's going to hold the lead off of turn 4, but Sansone will be challenged by McKinney on the run to the line, and Vinny's going to steal it. Here come to the checker.
What a great finish there by those 2. Clean driving between the 51 and the 80 car. 2 drivers out of the state of Illinois. Vinny Sansone comes home with the final transfer spot in car number 80. But a great run there by Alex Bergeron. And Randy, while that battle was going on, I was taking a look at the front of the field, and Chase Cabre absolutely reeled in that 12th car of Alex Bergeron towards the end of that race. Closed it down to half a second there after Bergeron pulled out to a big lead. But Bergeron with the win, Cabre 2nd, Dylan Hauser 3rd, and Vinny Sansone, your top 4 drivers, will make their way into the main event. Matt McKinney's oh so close will head off to the B main along with Blade Witt, Cole Newhoffman, Ricky Sanders, and Joe Lusk.
Absolutely is exciting heat race there for heat race number 3. And let's take a look at your starting grid for the final heat race of the night. I've seen a lot of people in the Twitch chat asking if he was racing. TTL Esports driver number 44 of Logan Clampett will start on the inside of that front row with Cole Cabrera, Swindell Speed Lab Esports starting from the outside of that front row. Alex Smolders and Steven Renaud will make up row number 2 with Justin Thomas and Bobby Sant Jr. on row number 3 with Adam Elby and Anthony Lepresto starting deep here in this 4th and final heat race of the night. Logan Clampett, I think, really one of the drivers that I think surprised everyone last week, Chase, because he came out, ran a fantastic sort of night of racing, got himself into the, got a good starting position for his B, pretty much dominated that and went from 19th up to 10th. So I think that 44 of Logan Clampett puts in a good qualifying effort, gets himself top 4 pole for his heat race. I think he's hoping to put in an even better performance tonight.
Yeah, he definitely impressed me here in qualifying tonight. To start on the pole of the heat race is no easy task here. If he's able to win this thing, he'll start on the outside of row number 2. Comes into the 11th in the Outlaw point standings here. And just to his outside is that 71 car of Cole Cabrera. He's going to be putting up a hard challenge here. If you remember correctly there, Randy, Cabrera picked up the win in the Race Spot TV Chili Bowl a couple weeks ago. Put on a dominating performance there. But obviously that was in a midget. This is the wing sprint car. A little bit harder to drive here, especially on this big half-mile track.
Yeah, definitely a lot more power underneath these things, but a little bit heavier. And of course, you have all that aero from their front and top wing as well. iRacing safety truck for the final heat race of the night comes down to pit road, and Logan wastes no time. We are green for heat race 4 of 4.
Yeah, great jump right there for Logan Clampett to get out and get clear of these guys. You see the number 211 car, Alex Smolders working the bottom of the racetrack, trying to make his way by the 71 of Cole Cabrera. Cabrera now blocks it a little bit there, now slides it up to the top of the racetrack, hits the cushion, gets a little bit sideways right there, and Smolders will take over the second spot down the front straightaway.
Oh, and contact behind that all-black car, I believe that was actually Steven Renaud, gets into it. I believe it was with Justin Thomas, who's now going to have to fight with the 131 of Bobby Sant Jr. as well as the driver's out in front of him. Big slider coming in from Justin on Cole Cabrera, trying to move that Swindell Speed Lab Esports car just into the rearview mirror. The 23 mode Motorsports car will just about pick that spot up.
Yeah, just behind him, the 131 of Bobby Sant Jr. Watching these guys trying to figure out where they're a little bit weaker on the racetrack. Battle for the lead now. Here comes Smolders to the inside for the race lead. Great move by Smolders. He's been working the bottom of the racetrack since the original drop of the green flag, and he's trying to take the lead away from the 44 Logan Clampett.
Logan ran the bottom going into 1, but he slides right up to the cushion off of 2. The 211 will take the lead in towards 3 and 4, but Clampett will have the momentum coming up off the top of the racetrack. Actually makes a mistake, so that's going to move Smolders into the race lead. Cole Cabrera, sensing a little bit of blood in the water, wants that second spot, drives it down to the bottom on the exit of turn 2. Cole drag race Clampett in towards 3 and 4, and just breezes right on past that 44 TTL Esports car. Justin Thomas is the one now setting up to continue the freight train here on this 44 of Logan Clampett.
What a great race right now for the top 4 spots, 2 by 2, looking like they're starting the race right at the beginning. These guys are side by side for 2 rows deep. Bobby Sant Jr. is now falling out of the picture in the 5th spot a little bit. Justin Thomas makes a little mistake right there, but gets a big run on Logan Clampett down the front straightaway. Clampett right back to the bottom as Thomas back to the top of the racetrack. He put a great performance on last week in the B-main event to punch his ticket into the feature of Lucia Speedway Park. He doesn't want to have to run a B-main here tonight. He wants to transfer straight from the heat race, but here goes Bobby Sant Jr. catfishing on the bottom. Almost gets in the back of Justin Thomas off turn number 4 right there.
211 and 71 are fighting for this as well. So we got 2 cars fighting for the win and 3 fighting to transfer. Smolders is going to shuffle into second as Cole will take the lead. Who will take the last couple transfer spots though? Clampett 3rd, Thomas 4th off of 4, but how are they going to shake up 3 abreast off the final corner? Thomas will take 3rd, and who will actually steal the final transfer spot by 2 thousandths of a second? Bobby Sant Jr. takes that 4th spot away. The 44 of Logan Clampett gets heartbroken.
Wow, what the heat races the last couple weeks, Randy, have been absolutely incredible. What a race for the win, what a race for the transfer spot. Cole Cabrera with the victory for Swindell Speed Lab Esports. Alex Smolders 2nd, Justin Thomas with a great run in 3rd, and Bobby Sant Jr. by 2/100ths of a second. Shaniki's on by the 44 car Logan Clampett to take the transfer spot. My goodness, it's been exciting.
Term, Shaniki's?
That's just got to get a little shinicky sometimes. I'm telling you, Randy. Bobby Sant Jr., I don't think he's ever heard the term before, but he did it right there. He got a little bit of shinicky on those guys.
Yeah, he would have had to learn the language real quick with the way that transfer spot battle just went. And you know Logan is going to be frustrated. It's going to be interesting to see how he rebounds once he gets into his B main. He is going to be running in the second one though, the first B main of the night coming at you. Again, the format for tonight, 2 twin B mains, not a C and then a B. Both 12 laps, top 2 from each go to the show. Let's go down the starting grid of your first one. Cameron Dance of TTL Esports will make up the pole position for B main number 1 with Matt McKinney on the outside of that front row. Row number 2 going to be Kenneth Dake Jr. and Blade Witt. Row number 3, as we cycle the graphics on back, will be made up with Tim Ryan and Cole Newhoffen, Ryan Mayer, and Ricky Sanders on row 4, with Robert Kerstetter making up the 9-car field. The 98 car of Tim Ryan, he has to be the one to watch, Chase.
If Tim Ryan is able to pull it off once again, obviously he's not starting dead last in this one for the Logitech G Altus Esports number 98 car. Obviously last week had an incredible run through the field in the B main, started 9th and got the final transfer spot on the last lap. This one's going to be a little bit easier for him, but not too easy. He starts 5th. He's got to run 2nd here. That 98 car, as we go on board with him, you get a little bit of a view of what he looks like out the front of that cockpit there. We'll see what the 98 can do. I'm pretty sure he's got a car to do it, but he's just got to stay out of trouble, which is what's been plaguing him so far this year in the heat races.
Yep, and that's going to hurt him with the championship as well, because of course points are awarded during those heat races as well. So for Tim Ryan to have those sorts of performances, it could potentially stack up with as short and as sort of brief as this championship is. But regardless, Cameron Dance is going to be the one bringing us to green here as we roll through corners number 3 and 4. iRacing safety truck getting ready to check out and allow these guys to really do battle. When will Cameron pick up the throttle? He waits. He gets on it. It's actually a good jump from McKinney on the outside as they roll 1 and 2 for the first time. And Ryan's going to try to slide it around the bottom. He's the only one of the front runners that really keeps it down there.
Oh, so close off turn number 2 between the 51 car, Matt McKinney, and another driver right there. They nearly came together off turn number 2, but McKinney's able to get clear. Here comes Tim Ryan out the bottom, and Ryan's got the transfer spot already on lap number 1.
That 98 car showing the pace he has, fighting with Matt McKinney. Expect Hecto to get a good run off the cushion. No, he snaps loose, and he's not going to be able to keep that momentum up.
The battle continues. The 17 car, Ricky Sanders, right behind him. Battle for the lead now. Here comes Tim Ryan to the inside. He's going to take the lead in turn number 3, excuse me. The 6 of Cam Dance up to the top of the racetrack. But here comes the 17 of Ricky Sanders, who had an issue earlier on in his heat race. Got upside down after contact with the outside wall. And he's coming after the 6 of Dance. Looks like the top 3 now moved down to the bottom of the racetrack, which is not what we were seeing in the heat races. The track has obviously taken a turn that we were not expecting here so far in these B-main events. Everyone trying to fight down on the inside berm.
Yep, everyone moving down low as Ricky Sanders is going to hug that bottom line. His teammate just out ahead of him of Cameron Dance. So the 2 teammates will be the ones battling for the transfer spot as Matt McKinney is really falling off the battle for these top 3. They're also 2x2 at the tail end of the field, like the Blade Witt, Cole Newhoffen, Ryan Mayer, and Robert Kerstetter in that fight as Sanders going to slot it up the inside of his teammate. He's going to take that 2nd spot away. No love lost, it seems, between these 2.
Yeah, Cam Dance threw him a slider down there in 3 and 4. Sanders easily turns it back to the inside and takes that spot right back. How hard has this got to be? 2 teammates going at it right now from TTL Esports. What do you do here? I'm sure there's no team orders going on right now, but that's got to be some tough love right there between Ricky Sanders and Cameron Dance. Here comes Dance once again, tries to take a peek to the inside of his teammate, but Sanders too strong on the outside right there off turn number 2.
If there's any team orders, it's likely don't wreck each other and give this transfer spot to the 51 Swindell Speed Lab Esports car of Matt McKinney, who has started reeling these 2 in. Gap is now only about 0.6 of a second to that 3rd place runner of Cam Dance. And Ricky Sanders looking a little bit loose up top, but actually holds it nicely down the back straightaway. He's going to go back down to the bottom in 1 and 2. We're starting to see cars, Chase, really run both sides of the racetrack.
Yeah, this is going to shape up real nice for tonight's main event. I'm excited to see how it plays out, but we still got to run these 2 B mains. Obviously, Tim Ryan up front right now. Ricky Sanders has the final transfer spot. Then it's Cameron Dance, Matt McKinney. And after that, I'm not even sure. Looks like Cole Newhoffen right now in the 5th spot, but he's way behind. It's the top 4 drivers that we're really worried about right now. Matt McKinney about 6 or 7 car lengths behind the 6 car of Cameron Dance.
Ricky Sanders up top loses a little bit of ground to Cameron Dance, and McKinney has continued reeling them in little by little. If these 2 start fighting, that 51 will be a factor. 2 laps to go as they come off turn number 4, and McKinney is hoping the 2 teammates play really hard with one another. The 6 down to the bottom. We're going to try to run it up through the slick, but he can't quite do it. No good traction down there.
McKinney actually 2/10 faster last time, behind on the 17 of Ricky Sanders. So McKinney's coming, but the white flag's out. Is there enough time for that 51 car to make a pass on 2 cars in 1 lap? Here comes Dance, tries to make the move here in turns 1 and 2, but he's not going to get there in time. He's into the wall, almost gets upside down. He's going to hand the 3rd spot nearly to Matt McKinney, and that's going to leave it open for Ricky Sanders. Tim Ryan with the win, and Sanders will come home with the final transfer spot. And we've still got 1 more B main to go, but what a race there for the transfer between 2 teammates. Oh man, that's going to be awkward at the in the team speak a little bit later on tonight, Randy.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit, but what more can you expect? So Tim Ryan and Ricky Sanders put in an absolutely blitzing performance. They take the top 2 and go directly to the main event tonight with Cam Dance, Matt McKinney, Cole Newhoff, and Ryan Mayer, Blade Witt, and Kenneth Dake Jr. and Robert Kurtstetter rounding out the tail end of the field there. B main number 2 getting ready to come at us right now, and Chase has the starting grid here.
Yep, B main number 2 looks like it's going to be Jesse Dacus on the front row of this one. Alongside him, the TTL Esports driver, Logan Clampett. Both these drivers just narrowly missing out on a transfer spot earlier on. Joe Quinn on the inside of the 2nd row. On the outside of him out of Michigan, that's Anthony Lepresto in car number 57. 3rd row to the inside, the 421 out of the Casey Kane Racing Camp. That's Britton Roxbury. Outside of Roxbury from Tracy, California, the Swindell Speed Lab Esports number 74, that's Adam Elby. Elby on the outside of the 3rd row. And your 4th row looks like on the inside out of Loomis, California, the Fast4Media.com, Jake Swanson, Shock Technology. Number 10K, that's Rusty Kruger. And on the outside of him out of Canada, it's the 115 of Stephen Renaud. And I believe you have 1 more driver, makes it 2 more drivers in this one. Out of the Craig Kinzer Racing Sim Team Camp, it's going to be number 5 of Braden Eiler. And on the outside of him from Reignition Esport, it's the 20 of Joe Lusk. 12 laps, and the top 2 once again will make it into the feature event here, Randy.
So excitement building here as you have, of course, that bright yellow car we talked about. Jesse Dacus just making up that pole position right now, just barely missing out, but I don't think he's going to be nearly as heartbroken from that heat race as we saw the 44 of Logan Clampett just getting that automatic transfer spot stolen away by Mr. Bobby Sant just as they came across the line. You, of course, have Lepresto and Joe Quinn behind as well. Also names such as Adam Elby, Britton Roxbury taking up the tail end of this field. And remember, that 10 car was quick before he got caught up in an incident. So look out for Rusty Kruger to potentially make something of this. Maybe got a little bit of lessons from the Vanderweers during his trip to Paris over this weekend. Jesse Dacus, though, will bring him to green here in just 1 moment's time. Where will he choose to do so when they get to the starting zone? Waiting. He gets on it really early. Yellow Machine going to get on the green really fast. The 44 Clampett will defend to the bottom really quick.
Yeah, keeper on the 74 car of Adam Elby in this one. He's 3 wide right now through the middle of the racetrack, and Elby's got 3rd. Last week's 9th place finisher, currently 8th in the point standings in the B main right now, trying to make some moves right here. Oh, Dacus with a mistake off turn 4. Here comes Clampett down to the inside for the race lead. They make contact into turn 1, and Elby's going to go by both of them and take the lead.
Elby gets to the point after just a couple of laps of racing. Dacus up top, Clampett on the bottom. He's going to take that spot away for P2, and he will move into the transfer position. Roxbury next in line to freight train on Jesse Dacus. 3 wide, Joe Quinn, Dacus and Roxbury through 1 and 2. Quinn gets into the 75 up top, pushing him into the outside retaining wall. Rusty Kruger looks keen to take advantage of that one as Clampett will comfortably hold on to the transfer spot now. And who is that in the middle? Purple and white car. I see him struggling all over the racetrack as he starts moving down the back towards the order.
Back up front for the transfer spot. It's the 421 of Britton Roxbury right now on the outside, looking in the 3rd spot. To the top of the racetrack he goes. The 44 Logan Clampett right now has the transfer spot. Adam Elby up front. Just behind him looks like the 115, the currently sponsorless driver in this field. The 115 of Stephen Renaud trying to punch his ticket into his first main event of the season. With the 421 of Roxbury putting on a show for the fans on the top of the racetrack. He takes the 2nd spot away with the 44 Clampett.
Saw Alex Bergeron. Well, we saw Tim Ryan do exactly this during his LCQ at Volusia last week. Just hooked up the top and drove around anybody. Can Roxbury do the same thing? He made it look easy getting around the outside of Logan Clampett. Logan's going to search the middle for a little bit of speed. Not going to fight it there as Elby needs to take notice of that 421 car. Still hugs the bottom, though. Does the 74 Swindell Speed Lab Esports machine. And Roxbury just holds on to that 2nd spot for now as Logan seems to just keep falling backwards. And I don't think he has the pace of these top 2 as Renaud wants that 3rd spot and wants to take it away.
Yeah, Stephen Renaud doing a great job right now. If you're looking to sponsor one of these drivers, make sure you contact that 115. Obviously, no stickers, barely even a number on the side of that race car. Stephen Renaud trying to put on a show here for the very few fans that he might have in the stands here. Renaud looking for third. Oh, clamp it's into the wall. Oh my goodness, Randy, he's almost upside down.
That's, I think, going to be the nail in the coffin for Logan's hopes of making the feature tonight. Lepresto will just try to lurk on the back here in Steven Renaud. They're a little bit far back from the 421 and the 74 to make something happen on pure pace. Only 4 laps, 3.5 laps even remaining in this heat race. I see a car on the wall. I believe that's Rusty Kruger. Too bad night for him, 2 weeks in a row. But LB and Roxbury, they'll continue dueling here with 3 laps left.
Yeah, Kruger, unfortunate to see that as he was so good earlier on in the heat race, but Adam Elby right now showing the way. Out there in the John Christer Trucking South Bay Partners number 74 car. The 421 of Roxbury, you see him out the backside of that 74 car, drops it down to the inside. The 115 of Steven Renaud hounding with 2 laps to go. Can Renaud put on a show for the fans here in the virtual grandstands at Knoxville Raceway? Looks to the inside once again. Roxbury back to the top.
Back to the top he goes. White flag next time past the iRacing starting line. So where will Adam Elby? How much time will he be able to hold, and will he be able to keep this race lead? White flag in the air. Just one more trip around the racetrack for these top 2 as they work through 1 and 2. Roxbury's hooking up the top, but that car is bobbling all over the place. Elby looks a lot more content down along the bottom of the racetrack through 3 and 4 for the final time, and Adam Elby will hold on to take the victory in LCQ number 2, and Roxbury will take that second transfer spot away, and he will hold that, and he will to make up the tail end of the top 20 in the main event here tonight.
Yeah, great run there by Adam Elby. Had a little bit of work cut out for him to start that one off, but was able to get the job done and take the win by almost half second there over Britton Roxbury. Anthony Lepresto ended up third. I saw Steve Renaud kind of give up coming off turn 4. He knew he wasn't going to get the transfer, so he lifted. Ends up in the 4th spot. Joe Quinn was 5th. Jesse Dacus, Joe Lusk, Logan Clampett, Braden Eiler, and Rusty Kruger ends up 3 laps down. That is your official finishing order there for B main number 2. As you see the drivers now come out on the racetrack. The final preparations for tonight's 30-lap main event coming onto the racetrack here.
Yep, quick warm-up for all of those drivers here, but we are going to take a short break here on RaceSpot TV. Quick message from all of our sponsors who make this series possible. Do not go away. 2 minutes to the main event.
Race fans, you wanted the best? You've got them. Live on DirtVision.com. Presented by Dry D. The World of Outlaws. NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. The World of Outlaws. Morton Buildings Late Models. Knoxville Raceway. And the Knoxville Nationals. And the Dirt Cars Summer Nationals are all available live. Sprint Car and Late Model Fast Passes are available now for just $39 a month, with single event subscriptions available as well. From Volusia to Charlotte, Fairbury to Lernerville, Eldora to Macon, and everywhere in between. Dirt Vision has you covered all season long. Every race, live, anywhere, anytime. Don't be left in the dust. Sign up for Dirt Vision today.
It's been a very racy Knoxville Raceway here tonight. We saw the top start out really dominant, but as the heats and LCQs have gone on, seems you can really run both sides of the racetrack. We saw at Volusia Speedway Park an absolutely fantastic event, and I think we're going to be in for an even better round number 2 this season. 40 seconds before we get racing here. Chase, final thoughts as we get ready to go green.
Well, as the racetrack has progressed on to the heat race in these B mains right now, Randy, this racetrack, just like last week at Volusia Speedway Park, I'm surprised, man. We got 2 great grooves. We've seen guys kind of throw the wing back a little bit and run the middle of the racetrack. So I'm excited to see what happens here. The bottom's tough to hit. The cushion, the little ledge that builds up on the top of the racetrack is tough to run. And the middle, obviously, you got to be really careful on the throttle pedal. So I'm excited to see what happens here. You see these drivers making their way around the racetrack, making some final adjustments to their race cars for this upcoming 30 laps here at Knoxville Raceway.
Counter gets ready to count down to 0. Alex Bergeron dominated the event last week, from the pole. He will not put in the same performance today as he will start from 3rd. But your full starting grid coming at you from Mr. Chase Rodman. Chase, bring us the 20-car field.
All right, so on the pole, he's out of Santa Rosa, California. It's the car number 52 out of Swindell Speed Lab Esports. That's going to be James Edens. Edens on the pole. And on the outside of him for Tony Stewart Racing, it's the 15 car of Nelson Webster. Webster on the outside of the front row. Row 2 inside last weekend's main event winner at the Volusia Speedway Park. It's the 12 for Team ABR. It's Alex Bergeron. Outside of Bergeron, starting in the 4th spot for another driver out of Swindell Speed Lab Esports. It's the 71 of Cole Cabre. Your 3rd row now on the inside for TTL Esports. It's the 35 of Nick Cooper. And outside of him last weekend finished up on the podium in the Victory Lane Racing. Number 18, it's Austin Selman. 4th row on the inside, car number 39 out of North Carolina, it's Chase Cabre. And on the outside of him for Craig Kinzer Racing Sim Team, it's the 211 of Alex Smolders. 5th row on the inside, another driver from the big country of Australia. It's the TTL Esports number 9, 2nd place finisher last week at Volusia. It's Joel Berkeley. Outside of him, the number 49 for Casey Kane Racing, it's David Heileman. Row 6 on the inside, piloting the TTL Esports number 2, that's Dylan Hauser. And on the outside of him, the car number 23, it's JT Justin Thomas. 7th row down to the inside, another driver for Casey Kane Racing. It's the number 4 of Wayne Williams. And on the outside of him from Australia, it's the 3 car of Lewis Hewitt. 8th row now down to the inside. Starting in the 15th spot for Ironman Motorsports, another driver out of the state of Illinois. It's the 80 of Vinny Sansone. And on the outside of him for Reignition Esport, the 131 of Bobby Sant Jr. 9th row on the inside, starting in the 17th spot. Keep your eye on this driver out of Australia, the Logitech G Altus Esports, number 98 of Tim Ryan. And another driver out of the B main event, the number 74 of Adam Elby out of Tracy, California. Your final row on the inside. Also another driver out of California. It's the 17 car of Ricky Sanders. And your final starter in the number 421 for Casey Kane Racing, it's Britton Roxbury. 30 laps, 20 drivers, Randy. $300 online to win this main event. It's $200 for 2nd and $100 for 3rd. This should be good.
These drivers, you know they're going to be aggressive. Some of the most aggressive names on dirt in those front handful of positions. Edens and Webster, they know how to dice it up. And we watched Alex Bergeron and Cole Cabre really take it to one another during the RaceBot TV Chili Bowl Nationals. They start on the same row. They started on the front row for that one. Now they're on row 2 here at Knoxville. But James Edens in that 52 car, quick time, dominates his heat race. He's going to bring us to green in the main event. We are green for 30 here at Knoxville. Bergeron gets the jump on Webster, and that 12 car quickly moves into P number 2. Sliding up around the outside on the cushion early, he's going to be Cole Cabre. He's going to try to hook it up, but nothing going just yet, as Edens will lead lap number 1.
Yeah, James Edens right now through the middle of the racetrack. He must have the wing absolutely trunked in that thing to be able to run in that groove right now. You see Bergeron, like he was last week at Volusia, running up on the top side of the racetrack on the cushion right now. But here comes the 3rd place driver, who is up there about to go by Bergeron. That is the number 35 of Nick Cooper. He's got the 2nd spot right now off of turn number 4.
Cooper, and he's going to fight for the race lead. Just about gets a nose on James Edens in towards 1 and 2. I see a car slow and sideways on the front straightaway. Hauser and Selman involved in a little bit of an incident down on the inside. Selman currently on his roof trying to get that car back on his wheels, actually does so. So contact early on here in our main event. What happens? They were 3 abreast, nearly 4 abreast, coming off of turn number 4, and well, you can't really run 4 wide here at Knoxville too often here, Chase, and I really wouldn't suggest it this early into the main event. That's a couple cars now with big damage here early in this one.
And that's huge for the points right there. Austin Selman upside down, loses to the nose wing. He came into the night P3 in the Outlaw point standings for tonight after the first week, so that's huge for him. He really needs to come back onto the racetrack and try and fix those damages and salvage a decent finish. Dylan Hauser also was up there in the point standings as well. He was in the 5th spot in the points coming into the night. So 2 drivers that were way up there in the point standings are going to have terrible finishes here at Knoxville.
It really has sort of been the story, I think, of this championship. Cars really struggling with the points through those first couple rounds. Handful of movers, though, on that early start there, Chase. Lewis Hewitt goes from 14th up to 10th. Wayne Williams, 13th up to 11th. Heileman from 10th up to 7th, and we've actually seen that consistently from David. We saw that during his heat race as well, that he got very aggressive and picked up a transfer spot. Biggest movers, though, Britton Roxbury, 20th up to 13th, and Tim Ryan, 17th up to 12th. He started at the back last week, really only picked up a couple of spots. That 98 car wants to make sure he can at least get comfortably into that top 10 here tonight, and he did a good job of that on that initial start.
And what do you think the chances are that David Heileman might have the setup notes from Brad Sweet's Knoxville Nationals win there, Randy?
It might be pretty good. I'm sure that that number 49 car, I'm sure they're going to be closely working together, at least in some way. Lights are out on the iRacing safety truck. We'll be coming back to green flag racing at the end of lap number 6 towards lap number 7. So David Heileman may be a car to watch, the 98 a car to watch. Also, of course, out in front, we saw that 12 car of Alex Bergeron, the first of your front runners, really running the cushion. Everyone else pretty much down along the bottom to the middle of the racetrack who are inside of the top 5. James Edens brought us to green for the first restart. We'll now bring him through single file. Where will he pick this throttle up? You know that track is a lot slicker than it was just a little bit ago. James waiting, really holding him up. That's going to accordion affect the field. And let's see how they can hold this as James will get a nice jump. And I see one car up in the wall entering one.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. It looks like we're going to be able to keep on going, though. Up front, James Edens got a good start right there. Pulls away at least 3 or 4 car lengths from Nick Cooper. Now everybody's starting to go down to the bottom of the racetrack. Will we see anybody try and cowboy up and go up to the top of the racetrack? Looks like David Heileman, the first one on the cushion right now. He's way back in the 9th spot, though. He's got some work to do here. There's that 49 car, the Napa Racing Team ASC Factory King number 49, trying to put on a show for the fans here.
Trying to hold the top side of the racetrack. You see the 98 of Tim Ryan very much a part of this fight with David Heileman and Lewis Hewitt so close to one another. Off of turn number 4 and in towards 1 and 2. The 421 of Roxbury. He's going to throw it up to the top side as well. So all sorts of drivers fading out everywhere looking for any sort of speed. All of your race leaders, first 6 or 7 cars all along the bottom. It really is that 49 Casey Kane racing car. First one running along the top.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to see all these drivers on the bottom of the racetrack after all the heat races and stuff like that. We saw these guys on the top. While Alex Bergeron a little bit sideways right there, coming off turn 2, lost some ground for Nick Cooper. But Cooper's all over James Edens for the lead. They're separated by less than a car length as they enter turn 1 right now. Cooper takes a look down to the inside as Edens kind of opened up the entry right there, nearly lost the lead. But Edens doing a great job right now, keeping that left front tire up on the inside berm.
Wendell Speed Lab Esports versus TTL Esports here for the top 2 as Cooper just not quite able to get the runoff just yet. Most of your field starting to single file out along the bottom. Doesn't seem like that top groove is where you want to be as you approach halfway. Nick Cooper trying to get a run. He's right off that rear nerf bar but can't quite make a move just yet. I see Heileman though trying to make things happen up along the top, trying to hold off the 98 of Tim Ryan, who has his hands full with Roxbury as well as Joel Berkeley behind.
The top 3 have now pulled away a little bit. Cooper to the inside left rear tire. James Edens nearly gets by him right there. Edens holds him off as Cooper and Bergeron both get sideways right there off the second corner. Edens squirts away just a little bit, about a car length now. The 52 car's got a little bit of a gap now, a little bit of a cushion over that 35 of Cooper. But Edens doing everything he needs to be doing right now to hold off some of the best drivers on the iRacing.com service.
Bergeron gets a run on Cooper and is going to try to make something happen, but no, Cooper going to nicely cut off that bottom groove. So the Alex Bergeron racing machine can't improve just yet as your top 3 are single file. Bergeron was so spectacular along the cushion at Volusia last week. He moves to the top off of corner number 2. Cooper, a little bit of a bobble on the bottom. Maybe Alex can make something of this, but no, not yet, as Alex is going to go right back down to the berm through 1 and 2. And a little bit of contact as we're actually going to get a yellow.
Yep, I don't know what the yellow is for, but
Wayne
there it is.
Williams on his side.
Yep, car upside down. Here's the replay for the number 4. You see him on the inside of the racetrack right there. Oh, looks like one car got to the outside wall, comes down the track, hooks him head on. Looks like the 17 of Ricky Sanders was the driver that got up a little bit too high right there and got sideways right in front of that Wicked Energy Gum number 4 car, Wayne Williams. But man, oh man, the top 3 putting on a good show here, Randy. It's James Edens, Nick Cooper, and Alex Bergeron. You saw Bergeron go up to the top there, Randy. He knows that the only way he's going to pass these guys, he's got to try something else. So he tried the top, and 1 and 2 looked like it might have worked for him. But he just didn't have enough time to get it going before we got that yellow right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the big thing is can he hook up the top? Because he was really one of the only drivers, Chase, and I know we noticed it and we were kind of curious, but he was the only one running the top when he was running such lightning lap times last week out at Volusia during the main event. This time everyone's still along the bottom, but it doesn't really seem like that top groove has really worked for anybody. We've seen him go up there a couple times and try it. Also seen the likes of Britton Roxbury and David Heileman try that top line, but just nothing going for those guys. No momentum, no real speed up there. Maybe get a slight speed advantage, but seems like it's really a catfish style racetrack here tonight.
Yeah, and it's a tough one to run. I mean, this place gets super slick on the bottom of the racetrack. It doesn't even look like there's a whole lot of moisture down there to keep your left side tires in. A whole lot of throttle control going on right now by your front 3 drivers. But how about this? We've got 3 Swindell Speed Lab Esports cars right now in the top 5. and I'm sure they're all right now in TeamSpeak. It's a third-party application that allows you to talk to certain people, and I'm sure they're all in there talking to each other, you know, trying to go over strategy, trying to see if they can help each other out a little bit here to maybe sweep that podium. Right now, it's Chase Cabré right now in the 4th spot, and Cole Cabré's brother in the 5th position, with James Edens leading right now. So a good showing tonight for the Swindell Speed Lab guys.
They've really put things together here. It wasn't a great sort of opening round for them, especially for Chase. But James Edens getting ready to get us to green. We saw actually Nick Cooper. He kind of closed on Edens, and Edens took advantage. Alex hops up to the top because it's not a great start for the TTL Esports driver of Nick Cooper. Can Bergeron make that cushion work? Gets a run down the back straightaway, but not quite close enough to pull just out in front through 3 and 4. Is there maybe a little bit better grip up there
yes,
for
there
Alex
is.
Bergeron? Down the front straightaway, Bergeron takes P2.
Wow, the 12 car absolutely rolling right now on the top of the racetrack. This is what we were waiting for. 10 laps to go. And Bergeron, the 12, the Max McLaughlin Racing. Team ABR number 12 is absolutely ripping the outside wall right now. And he's coming after James Edens. What does Edens do right now? He looks behind him. He sees the 12 car closing. Does he try and go up to the top of the racetrack, Randy?
Seems to be a really narrow groove. It's the 12 car. You see it bouncing all over the place. Really bumpy up there. David Heilemann in your mid-pack. The other one really opting for that upper groove. Let's keep an eye on that blue Napa machine. Keep an eye as well. The 98 of Tim Ryan, your defending series champion. 17th starting in the main event tonight. He has worked his way up towards your top 5 as he splits the two brothers, the Cole and Chase Cabré. He gets underneath. Chase going down the back straightaway in towards 3 and 4. Tim can't quite make anything of it just yet. Slides through the middle of the racetrack and loses a little bit of ground. But look at the Napa car on that top groove as well as his teammate of Britton Roxbury behind. They are moving up there on the cushion.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you can run it just right, it is extremely fast. Alex Bergeron has showed us that right now. Now drops it back down to the inside. Bergeron, the second place car, had a little bit of a bobbler off turn 2, had to drop it back down low. We're looking at David Heilemann in the 8th spot, though. Working that top group, trying to make his way into the top 5. Bergeron, the 12 car, back to the top of the racetrack, trying to track down Edens. And Bergeron sideways, and Nick Cooper back to the inside.
He's trying to track down Edens, but he went the exact wrong way and instead got tracked down by Nick Cooper, who takes that second spot away. Tim Ryan still hounding that number 39 machine, of Chase Cabré through 1 and 2. You see the two teammates up top, both representing Casey Kane Racing Sim Team, still really loving that cushion. Tim Ryan's going to try the middle out. Matter of fact, we might be 3 abreast for your top 4, top 5, as Bergeron is going to take the second spot right back away from Nick Cooper inside of 5 to go, and we are 3 wide, Cabré, Ryan, and Heilemann.
Man, Tim Ryan might have his own highlight reel once again here tonight from the second to last row, and is now making his way into the top 5. Here comes the slider from Ryan up in front of the 49 car, David Heilemann. Actually, Ryan will roll the middle and goes right by both of them. Tim Ryan now up to the 4th spot.
James Edens, what is he going to do? He's been hugging the bottom all race long, and he's got a nice little gap. But if this top groove has come in like this, only 3 laps left, you might be able to make something of this. Bergeron still trying to hold off Nick Cooper as Heilemann, great race from him from 10th up to 4th. But I think Tim, he wants that 4th spot, 3 to go.
Alex Bergeron tagged the front straightaway wall right there, trying to run the high line. I don't think he's got enough time. Only 2 laps to go. The 52 car, James Edens out of Santa Rosa, California, makes his way down the front straightaway. Popsicle sticks in the air 2 more times around for the 52 of Edens pit, trying to pick up his first win of the season. Alex Bergeron doing everything he can to not let him get too far away. But right now, Edens with a huge gap right now. He'll come down to the white flag, Randy.
1 more lap to go as drivers continue moving everywhere around the racetrack, trying to find grip where they can. James Edens has had it down along the bottom all race long. Heilemann with a late race move on Nick Cooper. Can he pick this spot up as he comes off the back straightaway and down the back straightaway? They're wheel to wheel for that 3rd spot as they work down through 3 and 4. James Edens will hold on for this race victory. Bergeron in 2nd, and Heilemann will try to take it just at the line. Does he get there? Yes, he does.
Wow.
Second time tonight we've seen a driver run the top and steal that 3rd spot away. So a great run from David Heilemann. Goes from 10th up to P number 3.
Does anyone have a link to the David Heilemann t-shirt trailer? My goodness. And that's huge right there, Randy, because everything from 4th on back does not pay any money. Heilemann just pulled a $100 bill right out of the back pocket of Nick Cooper right there in the final 10 feet on the front straightaway to get the 3rd spot. What a move by the Napa Team ASC Factory K number 49. He ran that top groove to all hell right there that entire race and put on an incredible show for all the people watching at home. That was awesome to watch.
we might have to start calling that Casey Kane Racing driver behind the 49 the thief, because we've seen him a couple times on Race Spot now make fantastic last lap passes for a position. We saw it back in the old Dirt Night days, and the non-wing USAC cars stole a race win, and he steals the podium position tonight. Let's go down your finishing results here. James Edens will hold on for all 30 laps, and he will take victory here tonight with Alex Bergeron. Been a good season start for him. A win and a second. I don't think it gets much better than that. Heilman takes third away from Nick Cooper, who finishes in the fourth spot. Tim Ryan going to be much happier with his result here tonight. Comes away with the top 5. And Brenton Roxbury as well, from 20th on your grid up to 6th, passing 14 cars to get there. Chase Cabre starts 7th. He will finish 7th with Joel Berkeley in 8th. Cole Cabre 4th back to 9th, and Lewis Hewitt will round out your top 10. Alex Smulders in the 11th spot with Adam Elby in 12th. Bobby Sant Jr. in 13th. Justin Thomas 14th, and Nelson Webster will round out your top 15 with Ricky Sanders, Vinny Sansone, Dylan Hauser, Wayne Williams, and Austin Semmelman rounding out the 20-car grid here tonight. We're going to step aside for just a couple of moments on Race Spot TV. Do not go away. Post-race coverage coming at you in just a sec. After about an hour or so of racing, it all comes down to the number 52 of James Edens. We saw Alex Bergeron dominate at Volusia, and the driver of that number 52 car absolutely dominated the second round here at Knoxville. We've got him, and we're going to drag him up into the broadcast booth right here and right now. Race winner of James Edens now stood by with me. And James, what a fantastic run for you and all you guys at Swindell Speed Lab Esports. You were pretty much the dominant car all night, put in quick time and qualifying, dominated the heat race, and you really look comfortable along the bottom here tonight at Knoxville. Talk me through your night.
Yeah, it was really good. You know, we put in some extra work this week. We had to build pretty much a whole new setup. You know, Kevin actually helped out a lot this week, and we found some things that really made the car, you know, it was very good for me at least. It was something I liked, so it was just a little extra effort, and it paid off.
Now, for you guys at Swindell Speed Lab Esports, you were all very good last week, but just really luck didn't seem to go your way. You were, I think, if memory serves, about the best finishing of them, coming away with a P6, and of course you're the best finishing one of them tonight with the race win. But overall, the team seemed a little bit more competitive here tonight. It seemed like you guys could move around the racetrack a bit more. We saw you guys up around the top at points and saw you guys down along the bottoms. How much work did the entire group have to put in to kind of make this work here at Knoxville? Because all of you seemed good, especially you, Chase, and Cole.
You know, I mean, like I said, we put in a few, you know, probably a couple hundred laps more this week than we did for last week. And just, you know, the big thing was just getting used to the feel of the new setup, and it definitely seems to be a little better. So hopefully it carries over to the next couple tracks and see what happens.
Well, James, I got to ask you a couple questions here. I mean, the 12 of Bergeron went up to the top of the racetrack there late in the race after that yellow, and he clicked off a couple laps that were a couple tenths faster than you. Were you a little worried that maybe the top was the place to be, or did you know that it was too tricky to run and be consistent up there?
You know, I mean, for me, I know I couldn't run up there. You know, there's always a chance, especially with someone like Alex or even David back there running it, that they can get it going a little better than I can. But it just seemed to be a little too much to handle tonight, so the bottom prevailed.
Well, James, we congratulate you. $300, win here tonight at Knoxville Raceway. That's going to set you up pretty decent in the points, I'd have to say. Good job. And who do you got to thank for putting this deal for you?
I just got to thank all the guys, all the Speed Lab guys. We put in a lot of work this week, and Evan and everybody, Ace, Elby, all them guys, we put in a lot of work, and then all the sponsors, got to thank them, and, iRacing for putting this on, and you guys for covering it. It's always a good time.
There he is, driver the number 52, Swindell Speed Labs Esports Machine. James Edens comes away with the big win tonight. The driver that was so dominant just 1 week ago, though, the driver of the number 12, Alex Bergeron. Now we get a hold of him and wrangle him into the broadcast booth. Alex, dominant race last week, and this tonight you weren't quite. You're still up to speed and more than competitive, but a strong second place finish here is going to, I think, more than solidify your championship lead right now. It's only a second and it's only $200, but you have to, I think, still be happy to get the first couple rounds of the championship started like this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tonight was a bit tougher. Wasn't as good as the first race, obviously, but can't be sad about second place. It's just at this level, it's very, very good to be running in second. I try to run up top, and if I would have add more consistency, probably would have got by him. But our car was a little bit more unstable up there, and tried to run low, and it was I couldn't see catching him there, and tried some stuff, and I just want to make sure I would get by second place there and get myself in second, and just trying to on-40 lead, but couldn't get by him. But it was just a good race for sure. We won the heat race and qualified third, so that's a good night for us.
So obviously there's some in-car adjustments you can make when you're going around the racetrack under yellow and stuff, where you kind of, turning some wrenches and moving the wing back and forth a little bit there. Obviously we're watching the slow-mo of you right now on the broadcast. You were absolutely sawing on the wheel right there, trying to do everything you could to get by James Edens, but obviously it didn't work out. But were you kind of making some adjustments there under yellow?
Well, yeah, I made one change at the beginning of the race. I put my wing back, and that's it. I didn't touch it. I knew it was very slick, and I had to put all my wing in the trunk, and that's what I done in the beginning of the race. Track was a lot slicker than what I thought it would get. Knoxville is very known for that stuff. So a very good race, absolutely. We had 2 cautions, I think, but very good race overall.
Alex, as we get ready to move on through this championship, we go to our first quarter miler of the season at Limaland. Talk me through this winged car. We typically see the winged cars on the big 3/8 to half mile ovals. Know that the quarter milers kind of have their own sort of a difficulty to them. What are we likely going to see at Limaland? And talk me through the difficulties as a driver of approaching that track.
To approach that track, you really got to push yourself to the limit. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see different lines, especially in this new build. With this, series, it's just the track gets a lot slicker, and I think we're gonna see middle lines, slide job lines, kind of stuff. Limaland is known for the top side, but you really got to push yourself to the limits and really know the actual limits of the car. And you don't want to flip or anything or wreck the car. So we're gonna be down for a good race there next week. I'm pretty sure.
Hey, so I got to ask you real quick. I saw on your post-race recap on Facebook last week, you teamed up with Max McLaughlin. How did that whole deal come together for him to start sponsoring esports guys?
He just contacted me, and he's just really into sim racing too. So he was racing in Northeast Modifieds, and I've known him for quite a while now too. And he's now in the K&N, I think, Pro Series. So that's a pretty cool deal, and not real just because we're friends and everything. And hi to him too. So say hi to him. And yeah, he's just a very cool kid, and we're really into racing as well. So it's pretty cool.
There he is, Mr. 12 car of Alex Bergeron. Alex, before we let you go, who gets it done for that number 12 Alex Bergeron Racing Machine?
Thank you to all my partners, as always, Nobi.com, Design Shop at Kinney's, BK Designs, Max McLaughlin Racing, Meyer Inc., everybody watching, all the fans out there, you guys for broadcasting, Coleman Golick. I just want to say, a quick recovery for him. He got some back pain and everything, and just quick recovery for him, and just some thoughts for him. Todd Berkheimer, Buzz Gulick, Pete Gulick, Coleman's dad, my girlfriend for watching as always, Paul Kinney, this is from the sign shop at Kinney's, everybody at the race shop there, Team ABR for good car again, Jason Nygaard, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys for broadcasting, and we'll see you guys next week.
The driver of the 12 car, Alex Bergeron, comes home second tonight, and for the bulk of that final lap, get him out of here, I think is going to be the catchphrase for David Heileman, as he booted Nick Cooper out of the interview slot and took $100 out of his pocket. David, need to talk about that fantastic last lap, last corner move on Nick Cooper running the top. You were the only one up there pretty much all night that was able to make that topside work, as bumpy as it was. Talk me through your thought process through that last lap pass.
Oh, my thought process was I'm not about to finish fourth again, and then I'm not about to lose a photo finish again after I did in that pretty intense heat race to Austin. So I'm just glad I got my nose in front of him.
Man, you keep making runs like that, David. You are going to be sharing a T-shirt trailer with the real driver of the 49 car. I mean, holy cow. There's people in the chat that were going insane about your run through the field right there. I mean, how hard was it? We saw Alex Bergeron, one of the best drivers in this field here tonight, was absolutely struggling up there, did not really take to it too well, and you were just absolutely pounding it.
Well, honestly, I mean, obviously early on the line was the bottom. I could tell that from warm-up. There was just too much grip on the inside of the back straightaway. But I was like, all right, this bottom, it's got to go away. It's got to go away at some point. But it was like, I wasn't going to be able to pass anyone down there. So I just had to try the high side, and I fell back to like 10th on a restart. Then someone bobbled on the inside, and I got back to 6th where I was before that. And then I lost that again trying to run it. But so big thanks to my teammate Britt Roxbury, because he was banging the top from the start, and he told me where to run it, because I was kind of sliding up to the cushion. But then once I was able to build confidence on entry, it was just picking them off one at a time there, hoping it stayed green.
David, we mentioned the fact that you're sort of making this a habit on some of our Race Spot TV dirt broadcasts to make these fantastic last lap passes. You have this one here tonight to pick up the third place finish and $100, and you also went back when we were doing the Dirt Night broadcast at Lima Land, last lap pass to pick up the win, and that's exactly where we're moving next week. What do you think we're going to see on the quarter miler, first one of the season?
Yeah, man, that's why they call me the Hylemaniac. That's why you see the dozens and dozens of fans, dropping Omega lulls in chat, because trying to make a habit.
That's the only reason you do it. You just do it for the Omega lulls. You don't care about points or the $100, do you?
I do everything for the Omega lull. All that $100 is going to do is hopefully knock off a little bit of a tax off the final check of the season. But yeah, Lima Lands is definitely going to be a monster. It's going to be super slick, and it's probably going to be the opposite of tonight. We're all going to be, it's going to be about just banging that wall the whole time and not being around the bottom. So it'll definitely be an interesting, kind of dangerous race for sure.
Before we let you go, David, congratulations on moving through the field as well as you did. Up 7 to get yourself onto the podium tonight. Before we let you go, who gets it done for that number 49 Casey Kane Racing Esports car?
Big shouts to the guys at KKR Sim Team, Nap Auto Parts, Wicked Energy Gum. We're going to be here without having a stick before the race. And Wicked Cushion, Mr. H. He's the mad scientist who brought us all together. And NOS Energy Drink for sponsoring this series. And you guys for putting it on, I guess. You guys are all right. You guys ain't too shabby in my book. I don't care what they say about you.
Oh, man, what a guy.
We care. What are they saying about us? We care.
Oh.
Is it not airworthy?
Yeah, you'll see it in the chat you're in, Randy.
Okay, all right, we can keep an eye on that. But Mr. David Heileman comes home with a fantastic third place finish tonight. And Chase, we've seen it 2 weeks in a row in this championship. You obviously want to qualify well, and you obviously want to do well in your heats. But we've now seen it back-to-back weeks. You can start deep because you can come out of one of the Bs and get yourself up to the front of the field. I mean, 2 drivers got themselves in the top 6 doing just that. Tim Ryan and Britton Roxbury. It's really anyone's game, and really where you start that feature, I think, doesn't really have much measure on your pace or your chances to win.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like the iRacing water truck and the tiller and everything like that's been doing a great job on the track prep these first 2 weeks. Obviously saw a great race of Volusia for, third on back, and tonight Knoxville we saw another great race from third on back. It seems like the top two guys seem to pull away a little bit, but man, they have nailed the track prep, and it doesn't really matter. It can seem like the track's one lane, but you get those one or two guys that will go up there and absolutely pound the wall or putt the bottom, and they'll make it work out, and that's what the most exciting thing is here. And I'm excited to see what shapes up next week at Limeland. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be refreshing my page for a couple minutes here, trying to see what the points look like after that one.
The points, I think, are going to be oh so close here as we get ready to move to the first quarter miler of the season at Limeland. We will then have Kokomo a little bit later on towards the end of April. Those, of course, are sandwiched by Eldora and Volusia. But huge shout outs to everyone for tuning in here tonight as we get ready for the first quarter miler of the season. But the race here tonight was absolutely fantastic. It was a great one at Volusia, and I think this one may have one up it. Huge shout outs to everyone who makes this championship possible. Hugo Louise working the cameras, the likes of Andy Werner, Simon Grossman, and Nick Pisson working on the overlays and the live timing that make these broadcasts possible. We have to thank as well not only the World of Outlaws for making this series possible, but NOS Energy Drink, as well as the guys at Dirt Vision for supporting this championship. We'll be back in 1 week's time at Limeland. Be sure to tune in for that, and it is going to be an amazing race. Until then, we will see you next time.